Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to take you through on how to create RecyclerView in Android Studio. So what I've just done is that I created a new project and I name it RecyclerView tutorial, as you can see from the top. On my main activity, I use relative layouts. Then I use RecyclerView. I'm using Android X version. So I use this dependency to get my RecyclerView. I implemented com.google.android.material 1.2.1 and I sync my project. So the next thing, before I was able to get RecyclerView, so only that one will help you to get RecyclerView or CardView, any of those things that you need to get for your design. So we just need the RecyclerView only, we don't need the CardView. So as we are doing, the tutorial is mainly to help you in order for you to understand how to use RecyclerView and how to list items to be listed out in RecyclerView. So I've created this on my main activity, relative layout, and I create my RecyclerView. I give it an ID of the relative layout, match parents. Then the width of the RecyclerView is match parents, height is match parents, ID is RecyclerView. Then the next thing I did is that I went to the layout. I create a new layout. I went like this. I created new layout resource. I call it list view, list items. So on this list item, I did this in order to save our time. I will provide the code for you if you need it. Then I give on the list item, I use CardView. I use CardView to display in order to display the list of the items. So now on this CardView is going to wrap each of the item before it will be listed out on the RecyclerView. So I created the CardView to be match parents, height, wrap content, and I give relative layouts to wrap the items. The relative layout, match parents, margin top 4 dp. Then I gave image view because we are going to use image, and we'll have some text view on the image. So the next thing I did is that I created an image view inside the relative layout. I give it an ID of image view. I created a text view for text 1. I created another text view for text 2. Then the next thing I did is that, let me just name this as text 1. Then the next one, I'll name it as text 2. So, and I give ID of the first one text view, the second one text view 2. So now, what is going to happen is that our item will be displayed on this list item. Then it will be linked to our RecyclerView so that we can see it on the main activity. Because RecyclerView is what will be able to get the item to display to the user. So let's get started on how to create the RecyclerView. So we have already created the main activity layout and the list item. Let's go to the main activity. The next thing we are going to create is this. We are going to go to our Java, our com.example.recyclerview. We right click it. We need to create a Java model class for the list of items that we have. So we are going to call it, sorry about that. So right click it again. We are going to call it items. So I'll click enter, I'll use enter. So my items, what I need is that I need an int resource This is for the image view because I'm not getting my item from the server. I'm going to just use a vector access. It's vector assets that I'm going to use. So I don't have any access to external library or linking from the server. Everything is going to be in Android Studio. So I will give this one as, because anything and the image, since I'm using vector assets from my drawable, I'll put it in my drawable. So vector asset is an integer, so I will call it image resource or image resource. The next thing I will create is, sorry for not putting private here, private int resource. So I will create another one, private string text. Then I'll create another one, private string text 2. So since these are the things I needed according to the list item that I showed you from our list items. So it's going to be the same thing that we're supposed to have, because on this place we have image view, we have text 1 and text 2. So that is the kind of thing that our Java model class is going to, the kind of information. This Java model class is just like you having a list that tells the kind of thing that you need, the kind of information that you need from some group of people. So this item, this Java model class item, is going to have a constructor. Now, what is a constructor? A constructor is being called. A constructor is being called each time that an item is created. So the next thing we are going to create is the getters class. What are the getters class? The getters class is what to be able to get the item to display to the user. So what I'm doing is that I'm just right clicking it and generating the things I need. The first one was constructor. Now I'm going to generate the getters in order to get all the information from the main activity or from the recycler, from the adapter that we are going to use, and display it to the recycler view. So that's why we need the getter methods for all the items, while the constructor is being called each time an item is created. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We are going to create an adapter. What is an adapter? An adapter is the link between our items and the recycler view in our main activity. So these items now, you cannot directly get all these items that we are going to use. But before we create our recycler view adapter, let's just create the recycler view adapter. So the recycler view is the connection between the items and the recycler view. It helps the item to be taken from the main activity, which the main activity.java, which has our item as functions, and take it to the item list and be able to display it in recycler view for users to see. So let's see how the adapter is. So we right click and create a new Java class. We call it list items adapter. You can give it any name of your choice, it's accepted, but I give it as list item adapters. So this list item adapter, this are our adapter class, is going to extend a recycler view. So when it extends a recycler view, the next thing you are going to do is this. you are going to say when it is extend RecyclerView adapter, you are going to RecyclerView, you are going to say dot adapter. You can see it here, dot adapter. Then you give your less than, greater than, and inside the less than and greater than, you still use the same class name, list item adapter dot my view holder. This is the view holder. I will explain to you the meaning of this view holder. I will call it my view holder. You can give it any name of your choice. So let me finish and I will explain everything. So we're having some error here. So you will hover on the error and click on implement method. We need 3 methods for a RecyclerView adapter. So click on it. Let's go over our work. We're having some challenges, some error, things are not in order. Let's undo. So click on it, come to this red bulb, implement method, click OK. I think we are still having the same error. Okay, create a class. Then click on it. Let's see if everything is alright. Actually, let me go over. It's okay the way it is, but let me do it. Let me go over it again so that you can understand what I'm doing. So I will undo everything. I will just undo everything so that I really want you to understand what I'm doing here. So as I've created my list item adapter class, it's going to extend RecyclerView. It's going to extend RecyclerView dot adapter. Then you use less than, greater than. You just click the less than, your shift and the less than. So inside you still write the same list item adapter, which is the class that we are in. You press your tab, then dot my view holder. You call it any name of your choice. Me, I name it as my view holder. So the first thing I'm going to do to this class is, since it's showing me red signal, I'll click on the bulb, the red bulb. I'll click implement method. After the implement method, come to the view holder and keep your mouse there and come to the bulb and click create class. So if you check, we are still having error. So you come to it again, over it again, and click extend the extend my view holder class. My view holder extend recycler dot view holder. Come to it again and click on the bulb and create constructor. So this is how you create the RecyclerView adapter. So what you are going to do, this is the way you create it from the start. You need all these things that the Android Studio did for us automatically are the things that we need. So we just need to write some lines of code inside this method, this predefined method and classes, this predefined method and class. So what we are going to do is this. On the last class, this is now a class. what you are going to do, we are going to reference all our text view from the list item that we have here. We are going to reference it there. So we are going to reference our text view, all our text view items. We're going to reference it here. I will tell you why we need to do that. So we reference it as variables. We're going to create a variable for them. So you create public. The first one is image view. Image view, I'll give it a variable of image view. The second one is public text view. I'll give it variable of text view. I'll call it text view 1. I just need to put comma still in the same line with text view package. I'll call this one text view 2. So what I'm going to do is that as I have it, this class is representing our view holder. Just imagine this class to be like the main activity class, that whenever you are creating an application on the main activity class, you reference your variable in this place, and you reference, when you bring out your variable here, you reference it by ID, the things that are in the XML class. That is the way it is on this adapter. So here we are giving variable to all our list item in the list item XML class, in the list item XML file. So when we bring out all the variables, the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to reference by the ID. So we say the first one is image view is equal to item view. You will include this item view that we have here, this item view here, dot find view by ID, arrow.id dot image view. You can see that it automatically look for it. So the next thing we are going to reference is the text view. Text view 1 is equal to item view dot find view by ID, arrow.id dot text view, the first text view, which we now give it a variable of text view 1 here. So the second text view is text view 2 is equal to item view dot find view by ID, arrow.id dot text view 2. So we just brought out the variables and we reference them by the ID from the list item layout. So now we want to work with them. That's why we reference them by ID to display our information, before the information will now be linked to the RecyclerView on the XML file, the main activity XML file. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We are going to create, that is the work of this view holder you are seeing here. You can see where I say list view dot my view holder. That is the work of the view holder that you just see that I just did. You just to get the item and reference it by the ID. When you reference it by the ID, so that we can use it inside the adapter. So the next thing you are going to do is this. The work is not yet complete. You need to get the XML item layout to display. You need to get it, the whole layout. I mean the whole XML file here. So for you to get it, you need to come to this list view onCreate method. We are going to create a view, variable view is equal to layout inflector dot from parent dot get context then you come outside of it and say dot inflect. What are you inflecting? You are inflecting, you can see from the layout resources. You are inflecting it from the list, the layout item list. You now say arrow dot layout dot our item list. You can see our item list. So it's not yet done. So you will set a parent class. This is necessary for it to be there. You can see this view holder is for this parent, so we need it here. Then you set, the next thing is that there's what we mean by attaching it to the root. You just set it as false. Set it as false. So the next thing you are going to do is that you are going to return my view holder, which is the class that will reference all our ID here, we create variable and reference our item list views. So you say this my view, you return my view holder, then this is how you set it. Sorry for that. You return new my view holder, then you set this view that you have here, you set it into it. This is how you be able to inflect the layout of this list item here, whereby you have already reference all the IDs from the layout. There you are inflecting it there so that it will be able to show on the adapter. So what you have just done now is that you are able to get all the items, reference it by the ID, and you're able to inflect it on the adapter. So the next thing we are going to do is that it has not finished there. We are going to return, let's create, we are supposed to set all the item to the views. We have successfully bring out all the item by the ID, and we have inflected the layout, the whole layout of this item. Now we need to set information to the layout and the item. So our information are being stored in our Java model class. So we need to bring the Java model class into the adapter. So what we are going to do here is that we'll come down here, we'll say we'll say private. We need to bring the Java model class in order for us to get all the whole information from the Java model class. Remember that the Java model class, the work of the Java model class is to tell us the kind of information that we are going to use, then create an adapter and a constructor that will always be called once every information is being created, then get the information from our function, which is our main activity. It will get it and display it on the list item before the adapter will now link it to the RecyclerView in the main activity. So we are going to get all this information. We are going to use an instance of this object. We are going to create an instance of this Java model class object. So we say private array list. We are using array list. We are getting it as an array list. We'll call it out items. We'll give it a variable, an object of it. Let's just call it array list. Let's call it a items array list. So what we did here is that we call this Java model class here. We brought it here, and we brought it as an array list, and we create a variable for it. So it simply means we are initializing the object of this Java model class in order for us to use it in our recycler, in our list item adapter. So before we'll be able to do that, we need to create a constructor for it also. So you come down, you click here, right click on it, generate constructor. This constructor is going to be called each time this array list works in this list item adapter. So the constructor will always be called each time you are using this item list as an array list. So you are going to come to this unbind view holder to set all the items to the layout. This is where you'll be able to get all the items from the item view using the get method, which I told you is going to get all the items and display to the user, the recycler view. So you are going to, on the unbind view holder, you want to bind all the items to the layout which you got in order for it to be displayed to the user. So using our get method in our Java model class. So what you are going to do is this. Before you be able to bind the item, you are going to still call the item. You are going to still create an instance of the item, an instance object of the item. The items is equal to the item list, the item array list. You create this our Java item, then create a variable that is equal to this item list which we just created above. Now dot get position, get the position of all the items in the Java model class. Then once you are able to do this, you are now going to use holder to bind all the items from the Java model class to the layout in order for the adapter to take it to the recycler view. So you say holder dot text. The first one is image view dot set image resources according to our Java model class. Set image resources. This is just the same thing as holder dot text view 1 dot set text. The text view is to set text, while the image is to set image resources. So inside the image resources, you are going to say this item, which is this item here that you just create an instance of the item class from the Java model class, dot get image resources, which is our getter method from the image here, which is our getter method, as I told you, that is going to get the image and set it to the recycler view for the user to see. So that is how you will do for the text view too. You say items dot get text 1. The second one is holder dot text view 2 dot set text items dot get text 2. So at this point, we're able to get all our image by ID from the item by ID from the item list layout, and we are able to call the layout. The layout, we're able to inflect the layout on the recycler view, and we now bind all the items. We call the item as an array list because they are going to be displayed as an array. Then we bind them to the adapter. So here now we are going to return the position. We are going to return all the item list dot get all by the size. How many are there in the Java model class? Get all of them. That is the work of this method here. So we are done with our list item adapter. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to go to the main activity to bring this item that we are talking about. So as I told you that we are not getting the items from the server or from third-party API. We are just creating like dummy text using our drawable assets. So I will create new vector assets. I will create one as I will call one. I can use anything. Let me just call this. Let me give this one. I'll call it as home. I'll just call this one as home. Click finish. I'll give another one. I'll call this spot. I'll give another one. Create another one. Let's call this as video. Let's create another one. Let's call it as car. Okay, let's use this. So these are the dummy items that we are going to use. So before we get all these items, we are going to bring our RecyclerView, which is inside this our main activity. We are going to bring it. We have an ID of a RecyclerView. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to say RecyclerView as a variable. Come here, RecyclerView is equal to find view by ID arrow.id dot RecyclerView. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We're going to work on this RecyclerView. We're going to say RecyclerView dot set has fixed size to be true, that the RecyclerView should be stick in a particular size, should be at a particular size. Then the next thing we are going to do, we are going to set as layout manager new linear layout manager for this context, which is the main activity. So we set it to be linear. So the next thing we are going to do is this. We are going to bring our adapter. We're going to bring, the first thing we will do is to bring our Java model class. We'll bring it as an array list, which is items. Then we'll create a variable, an object for it, is equal to new array list. So we are setting it as an array list. We are setting the Java object model class as an array list. So we say items dot add. We want to add all our items now. Now say new items arrow.id dot drawable, sorry about that, arrow dot drawable dot, let me get the first one as home, comma, then I need to give, this is the image, this is for the image. You can see from our Android suggestion that the first one is image resources, the second one is the first text, the third one is the second text. So for the, I've gotten the image as this home, which is from our drawable asset, our drawable. So I'll just call it, I'll just give it any name. Just call it personal. The second text, I'll just call it mine. So I have about 4 items. Let me just duplicate all of them and change it accordingly. These are the items that I need to display on the recycler view. So the next one is a car. I will change it as BMW. Let me just say for wife. I will create another one as a sport. I will create the first text as hobby. I'll just call this as self. Then I'll create another one as, another one is video. I'll create it as YouTube. Then I'll call it as RecyclerView tutorial. Let me just leave it as RecyclerView. So these are all my items. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set the item, all these items, to the RecyclerView. So I will say, I'll first of all call my adapter. The name of my adapter is list item adapter. Let me call it adapter is equal to new list item adapter. Sorry about that. Is equal to new list item adapter. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the items to this adapter. Then I will now set RecyclerView. I'll now set the adapter to the RecyclerView dot set adapter. Then I will set my adapter to it. Adapter. So you can see that this is how to create an adapter. But the main thing you need to try to understand is this adapter class and where the item is, the list item, where you are getting the item from, and how to set it to the adapter and the list item. So let's run our app and see how it is. So you can see that we have successfully created our adapter. So this is how to create a recycle. We have successfully created our recycler view. So this is how to create a recycler view. Next time I will show you how to list on how to get information from the server or from third party. So thank you for watching my video. Please, if you like my video and if you like me to do more things like this, please subscribe, share and tell your friends about my channel. Thank you for watching.